defense coming to Los Angeles in the form of Morris. And then, of course, the Heat acquiring Andre Iguodala, Solomon Hill, and Jay Crowder from the Grizzlies. Iguodala agreeing to a 2-year, $30 million extension with Miami. Nodding along with all of this is the man who reported all of this, Adrian Wojnarowski, with us. And the Heat also trying to land Danilo Gallinari, and this was sort of the all-in push from Pat Riley. The Gallinari part doesn't come to pass. Why is that?
Well, you know, as you just said, Randy, Iguodala agreed to that 2-year, $30 million extension with a team option on the second year that kept financial flexibility in Miami for summer 2021, when if Giannis Antetokounmpo is a free agent, they'll be one of the teams trying to compete for him. Miami wanted to keep cap space in 21. Danilo Gallinari was allowed to talk with, and his reps were allowed to talk with Miami on a contract extension. When they couldn't reach agreement on an extension, it limited how much Miami was willing to offer Oklahoma City in the trade for Gallinari. You know, how much you're going to offer versus a player you have under contract for a couple more years versus a player who had just been a rental for the last couple months because Gallo becomes a free agent this summer. And in the end, it wasn't enough for OKC to do that deal. And so now Gallo goes into free agency. And Oklahoma City has him for the rest of the year on a team, you know, that I think that's really overachieved and probably made Billy Donovan a Coach of the Year candidate.
Okay. The one team that was quiet, the Lakers were quiet at the deadline. And then we got this from our Dave McMenamin because he tweeted out the pic of the free agent because he's retired, point guard Darren Collison, at the Lakers game sitting next to Jeanie Buss. Now, Woj, you've been reporting all along that Collison has been considering a return to the NBA. So how much should I be reading into that picture?
Plenty. Darren Collison is going to sit with his agent, Bill Duffy, here, I think right through the All-Star break and start to have the conversation, a two-part conversation. Am I absolutely ready to come back to the NBA? And I think there's a lot of momentum toward that. And number two, who am I going to play with? And, you know, Darren Collison, played at UCLA. He's lives in California, and his focus is right there in LA. The Lakers, the Clippers, both teams absolutely would like to add him. They'll have roster spots for him. He feels a need with both teams. And, you know, the Lakers and Clippers have been competing for players. I mean, go back to the summer with Kawhi Leonard, go back with Paul George prior to that. And at the trade deadline, competing for Marcus Morris. And then they'll be competing again on this front with Darren Collison. He first has to say, absolutely, I'm coming back to play. But it's headed toward that. And this is another Laker-Clipper showdown in what has become, you know, the arms race of talent in the NBA.
All right, now for Darren Collison, it could be a situation of the team helping out the player as well because he's never played beyond the conference semifinals in his career. If it's the Lakers or the Clippers, they're well constructed.
And he has played for both coaches, Frank Vogel in Indiana, and he played with Doc Rivers with the Clippers.
Last played in the NBA April 21st for the Pacers. Adrian Wojnarowski with the Inside for us on SportsCenter.
Look, Damian Lillard's been on such a tear lately that when he only scores 26, we're like, ho-hum. Spurs and Blazers, we're going to start 9:22 on the clock. Blazers down 5, CJ McCollum. Carmelo Anthony, that's a 3. Melo had 20 points. He made 4 of those 3s. Blazers now take the lead on this. Gary Trent Jr. in the corner for a 3. Lillard stepped back 3. He had 26, 10 assists in the game, but the Blazers extend that lead now 110-104. You could argue, though, that the star of the night was Trent Jr., 4 for 4 from 3 in the fourth quarter. He actually made 6 threes in the game. He finished with 18 points off the bench, and the Blazers are able to hand the Spurs a 3rd straight loss. Final in this one, 125-117.
Listen, we knew who the All-Stars were. Now we know what the teams are. 3rd year of this All-Star draft. LeBron choosing Anthony Davis first. Giannis countering with Embiid. Kawhi, Luka, and Harden rounding out Team LeBron. Giannis went with Siakam, Kemba, and Trae Young. You see the rest of the squads there on your screen. Here's the captain himself. Here is Giannis on how he made the hard decisions and being brutally honest in the process. Listen.
All right, Giannis.
Okay, this is a tough one. I'm between Kemba and Trae Young.
Wait, you don't want the dribbler?
I want somebody that's going to pass the ball. That's what I want. So I'm going to go with crossover killer, step back master, Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker.
All right.
Yeah, you can see that coming.
Yeah, you can try to compliment it up there with Kemba, but that was
Awkward.
absolute criticism of Harden. Hey, it's our next NBA Friday doubleheader. It's on ESPN and the ESPN app. 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Raptors taking on the Pacers. Second game of a home-and-home there. Raptors have won a dozen in a row. What's that about? And then Damian Lillard leading the Blazers against All-Stars Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and the Jazz. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. In reverse now. Pros to college. Okay, around the hardwood, let's go out west. Loyola Marymount, Gonzaga, second-ranked Bulldogs. Ryan Woolridge, fast break. Listen, Filip Petrusev, game-high 21 points. And part of an energetic effort here from Mark Few's squad. He said the second half, we had a lot more energy, more flow to the basketball. Taking a look at the move and the dunk. That pass is nice. That's a nice pass. It is. And then later, it's Drew Timme. One is actually hit the only Gonzaga block in the game. It starts the break. Admon Gilder throwing down. Gilder had 17 off the bench. Gonzaga's won 16 straight, 36 straight at home, 85-67 there over Loyola Marymount. Cincinnati, Wichita State. Shockers down one. We're going to pick it up 20 seconds to play. Grant Sherfield, three-pointer, wet. Only 7 points in 24 minutes, but 3 of them were huge there. It's a 2-point lead for Wichita State, but Jaron Cumberland is the reigning American Athletic Conference Player of the Year for a reason. He went for 24. He's the difference. Cincinnati hangs on to win 80-79.
It's time for a little Feel Good Friday, and it comes from the Kentucky High School Athletic Association State Bowling Unified Championship. 10th frame. Haley Noah and Jensen Lindor are up. Noah's got the ball in her hands, and what you're about to witness is a turkey. 3 straight strikes. Clutch time, too, because that won them the state title. Lindor said of his teammate, I was bawling. She's amazing. I just couldn't hold it in anymore.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that? They worked together. She had the ball in her hands to close it out. That's how they win it by several pins as well. And this is how it went. She got the turkeys.
Yeah.
They won the title. And then they were driven police escort style back to the high school riding on the back of a convertible.
Oh, like homecoming style?
Like homecoming.
Oh, that's amazing.
Incredible.
Good for her.
Yes.
You know what? Did you see a curve? She had like
she had some spin
the
on
whole
it.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to her.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Coming up on SportsCenter AM, the Rockets' small ball era took off with a win over the Lakers, but